What's up, guys? What are we going to do? We got a lot to do, guys. A lot to talk about. I'm watching my what would you call it when people say the motherland? So my motherland would be Italy. My mother and her whole family is from Abruzzi, the Tuscany region of Italy. So, but my father was from Prague, Czechoslovakia, which is Czechia. Used to be the Czech Republic. Was Czechoslovakia? No, it was 0-0 against Mexico in the 52nd minute, and now it's 2-0. 84th minute, 85th minute. Korea's actually losing too, which is crazy. We're talking about the World Cup, but you guys know we're going to be talking about boxing. We have a lot to get into. How did you guys do last night? I just want to say one big thank you to all the supporters, all the JSB insiders. We are a community. I also want to talk about the Paro victory last night, man. What did you guys think of that? Paro on points. It's interesting how people tend to push the goalpost back a bit whenever it's weird. You know what's happening because our community is growing and the YouTube channel is growing. Um, um if I don't go 100% with my picks, people come out of the woodwork, and it affects me. It does, only because I know my intentions with doing this isn't isn't to grow the channel to sell my boxing picks. You know what I'm saying? I put a lot of energy and effort into this, and so I'm working on not allowing the haters and trolls to get to me, but it does because I'm super competitive. You guys know that. And who gets 100% of their picks right? I My buddy fought last night, Liam Talava'a. He was a 3-1 underdog, and he lost. Right? He got knocked out. It happens. 3-1 underdog. I had him on one ticket. If you would see all the comments I got on just that pick, insane. So what I do know week in and week out, and we're not, we're not on a streak right now. We're going through ebbs and flows. This is kind of like what's happening right now. But it's not just us. It's not just our channel. It's boxing matchmaking in general. There's a lot. I mean, there's some tough matchmaking out there. We're used to. I think because since we started, we're used to sitting at like 80% or higher. It's not been anywhere near that the last few weeks. And so I think there's people there, for the folks out there who watch our content, who watch our channel, even guys who pay and support me, they paid a couple bucks a month to be in our Discord, and they're just sitting back to wait for one of my picks to lose. You guys got to do better, man. Like, what are we doing? If you're trolling me because I picked the 3-1 dog and he lost, keep that same energy when we win. the, I woke up this morning in our Discord and I'm like, I'm seeing people in our Discord who pay to be there. Everybody knew Liam Paro was going to win on points. That was an easy pick. What are you talking about? It was a plus 200. When is a plus 200 pick ever an easy pick? And to say I'm a bit frustrated. Not because my boy Talaval lost, because it's like I know my intentions with what I do. You know what I'm saying? I've never sat here and told you to join my Discord to get my picks. I've never sat and told you that I know everything. I am the greatest. No, I love boxing. I like breaking down fights. I like watching the sport. I've been in the game going on 40. I'll be 47 in 3 years. I walked into a gym when I was 7. Boxing's part of who I am. I come from a boxing town. So I get it. I open myself up for it by creating the content. But seeing fools talking shit, man, it works both ways. I'm a bit salty about it. It was a great fight. Crocker impressed me. And shout out to Justin Tuck. I didn't take Lewis, but a lot of it, and there's a dude. My issue is I'm very competitive. I can be really petty, for sure, and I have a great memory. So I remember and I write shit down. I know who talks shit. I don't want to put people on blast though, because I have a kind heart and I really do. Who I am right here through the screen is who I am in real life. I'm not a mean spirited sort of cat. But for people to say everybody saw Liam Paro winning on points, it's kind of like, fuck off, dude. What do you know? They didn't. That was a 50-50 fight. I have a lot of friends who lost a lot of money. I have like 5 friends in my VIP. So the Discord's like $6 a month. I have a VIP WhatsApp group where guys are betting like $10,000, $20,000. I know like 3 guys who took Lewis Crocker on the money line, $20,000 plus. So when I wake up and I'm checking my Discord, and we're a community, and like 99% of the boys are all love. So it's that 1% that frustrates me. And I wake up and I know personally guys who lost thousands on betting on Crocker, and then I'm reading in our Discord, oh, everybody picked Liam Paro. Liam Paro on points. Everyone knew that. No, they didn't, dude. That was a tough fucking fight. Lewis Crocker showed me something. I knew Lewis Crocker. I knew he was I didn't expect him to be that brave. He fought brave. I knew he wasn't technical. He likes ducking his chin and throwing the bombs. That left hook is brutal, man. That when he's fucking ducking and catching. The one thing you can never say about Liam Paro, though, the one thing I want to talk about is his recovery. We saw it against David Papo. We saw it against Subaru Matias. We saw it last night against Crocker. Liam Paro is exceptional with taking shots. And that's just a testament to his conditioning. And how many, and all the boys in our Discord, you guys could attest to this. How many guys during the weigh-ins were like, oh shit, Liam Paro, I don't know. He looks terrible on the scales. And I'm like, what? He looks exactly the same on the scales. I'm flip-flopping. I'm taking Crocker because Crocker looks like a bodybuilder. I think it was one of those rare, close, unanimous decisions which never truly happened. I mean, we don't really get to see a nip and tuck back and forth unanimous decision where it wasn't like 118 to 110. It was 115, 113, and I thought that was fair. It's all the work that Liam did in the first 6 rounds. You could have gone 4-2. I had a 4-2 after the first 6. And then I think I gave, and then after going into 8th, I think I had a 4-3. Paro had to dig deep, dude. That's a tough fight. Liam's size is always going to be an issue. So, like Paro at 47, the history books, I'm so glad he won. You know, I'm really happy for Australian boxing. I'm happy for his camp. Shout out to Coach DiCarlo. You know, his handlers, the Carlo family. To become a world champion in 2 divisions is really difficult to do. It's probably fair to say he was undersized at 40. You know, to fight at 47, Crocker, you know, Liam's going to be paired up moving on out. Like, who are the champions? Haney. So I was looking at the champions. I shared it on my social media. You have Ryan Garcia, Raleigh, and Haney. This might sound crazy, but I would take Paro to beat Ryan. I would take Paro to beat Raleigh. I would love to see Paro versus Haney. And I'm talking from a boxing perspective. Like, Liam Paro is a really, really nice southpaw. Like, you know, he has his flaws, though. Not a big puncher. Mexico. Oh, Mexico 3-0. Mexico is just belt to ass. Belt to ass. Let's see what the Korea game's looking like. Dude, Mexico's goalie they just put in is 113 years old, by the way, in case you guys were wondering. I'm going to pull the odds up in a second. I'm going to stay on for a while. My live stream yesterday was 2 hours. I'm going to stay on for a little bit, for a long time. I like talking. I wanted to see what these World Cup games were looking like. Guys, I just uploaded Boots and Xander. Check that out. I want to know what you think. That was a fun fight to watch, like the tape. I mean, you guys know, just like me, we've watched Boots' career. We've watched Xander's career. By this time, you don't have to watch film. You've seen all their fights. You know how they fight. It was a fun fight to break down, though, because, and this is going to sound crazy, and I talked about this in my prediction. And yes, I'm taking Ennis. Yes, I'm taking Ennis on points. But when I'm looking at flaws, and I brought this up in my take, It's still 1-0. Holy shit. South Africa is going to beat Korea. Korea was supposed to be a powerhouse, mate. I'm the biggest soccer casual. But where I was getting at is when we're talking about flaws, and I'm breaking guys down, I see more flaws in Ennis's game than I do in Zayas' game. If we're talking about bad habits, right? Sometimes a bad habit in boxing, though, is an outcome of skill. Sometimes having a bad, like Roy Jones from 94 to 2004, there was a decade. From 94 to 2004, Roy Jones was the greatest fighter to ever exist. He had a lot of bad habits, but because he was so athletic, because he was so twitchy and reflexes and gifted in speed, he was able to overcome those bad habits. Hands down, chin high, angling off, throwing punches at weird angles. And then we saw what happened after 2004 when he started getting hit and he started getting older and his reflexes started to fade. All of those bad habits came to the forefront, and he ended up getting knocked out a couple different times. And we never like our, we never want to see our legends get beat up like that when they're older. Joe Smith, I think, knocked him out of the ring. Ennis kind of reminds me a little bit of that. I don't think Xander is going to be the one to make Ennis pay for those flaws, but I don't think Ennis retires undefeated. We'll see. Obviously, we can't read the future. There's just certain things about Jaron's tape. He keeps his chin high in the pocket. His hands are down. He crosses his feet. He he doesn't like punching, backing up. But all of that being said, he's a superstar. He's super gifted. And at 28 years old, I think he's going to be way too much for Xander Zayas. And the one flaw I would say on Xander, and it's probably not a flaw, I don't like when guys get committed to the high guard. He's kind of, wow, South Africa just beat Korea. Wow, South Africa's advancing. But Zayas has this thing where he kind of stays here, and unless you're winky right, this is for the true body, you know what I mean? Unless you're winky right, catching and shooting from a high guard, you don't really see it a lot. Guys in this era of boxing use that high guard. They use it as like a false sense of security. You take way more shots than you should, and I think with Boots' speed, and Jaron has this way of using his speed to freeze his opponents. He'll like catch him in the freeze, and then he'll sit down on something powerful, whether to the body or up top. I think that's going to be Zayas' undoing. Great fights this morning. Let's go. I slammed Paro money line. I don't know how people thought that was a robbery. Yeah, it wasn't a robbery. I thought 115, 113 was fair. I see Zayas Boots going like Paro Crocker. Julius changing his photo. What happened to the shades, player? What happened to the sunglasses, my man? You took the sunglasses off. You still look good though. Do you think the fight goes a distance, Jay? Do you want to come on the live? Let me know. Should have been a draw. I disagree. Perfect score. Yeah, Justin, I agree. 115, 113, I like. What about my... This is a tough one, bro. There's so many... I'm not going to lie to you, boys. I haven't put bets on. The only bet I have right now on the Zuffa card is Kane Sandoval as my dog. Tony Hirsch versus Jay Brio is a freaking... How do you cut the difference in that fight? You know what I'm saying? Both guys coming off victories, and both guys were like plus 300 underdogs. Tony Hirsch Jr. beats Merriweather. Jay Brio, big dog knockout of the year so far candidate. Great hand speed. Tony Hirsch is a great boxer, a lot of skill. That is a crazy fight, man. I think I might live bet that one. So if you guys aren't in our Discord, the link is pinned. It's a couple bucks a month. I know a lot of you boys, the biggest benefit of joining our group, our team, is coming into our Discord. You get to watch all the fights for free. We stream all the fights. That in itself pays for the $6 a month. You know what I'm saying? Like this pay-per-view event was $70 in Australia. $6 a month times 12. Do the math. 72. So like one event watching in our Discord pays for your year membership of JSB. And that's underselling our value to the extreme. But I think I'm gonna live bet. I'm not a big live better because in Australia we're not allowed to just, our betting apps don't allow us to just, hey, live bet. We have to call somebody. But how do you split Hirsch versus Jay Brio? I'd like somebody to tell me. Albert Bell is a 100%. Let's look at the dude. Albert Bell right now is a plus 240 on the money line. The bookies are respecting AB so much, and I hate this fight, by the way. If you guys are new to my channel, I say welcome. The ones who stay here know that I'm from Ohio. I live in Sydney, Australia. I was raised from the time I was born until I was 18 in Youngstown, Ohio. It's an hour south of Cleveland, hometown of Ray Boom Boom Mancini, my childhood best friend, Kelly the Ghost Pavlik, Henry Arroyo, Ernie Shavers. We're a boxing town. I hate like Albert Bell has been a guy that we've known for a decade. Great amateur, super technical, a 6 foot lightweight, top rank, just couldn't get him fights. Nobody wanted to fight him. And I had him on a parlay at plus 450 to beat Andy Cruz. And due to visa issues, Joe Cornina pulls out of the Abdullah Mason fight in Cleveland, and they give it and they offer it to Albert Bell, and of course Albert Bell's going to take it. He's been waiting his whole career for a world title shot, so he gets to go from a title eliminator against Cruz, in which he was a bigger underdog, which is insane. Albert Bell was a bigger underdog against Andy Cruz than he's going to be against Abdullah Mason. I was just looking at the odds. I'm not happy about that fight. Just I don't like the Ohio Civil War angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a tough fight for Abdullah. Why do you say Dullah? It's Dula. Abdullah, mate. Why do you say Dullah? It's Dula. Why we negative show? Why we be negative? Bro, Hector Rivera. There's people out there who literally... Mate, I am a hopeless romantic. I'm an optimist. What I truly think it is I think it rubs people the wrong way how positive we are on my channel. That's what it comes down to. But it's like, folks are out there in the shadows waiting. Oh, shit, he took a plus 380. He took a plus 380 underdog, a guy who's... He bet on him. Oh, no, wait till he loses. I'm going to jump in his comments and tell me fucking son. It's like, bro, dude, you got it all twisted, man. Cato... I got Kane. The Floyd Diaz fight versus Salta Benez is a good fight. Brady, these are all tough fights. I do have Sugar Cane. I'm doing the tape on Floyd Diaz and Salta Benez. Brady Ochoa, I like. The Tony Hirsch fight, man, that is a good fight. And, you know, we have been kind of like ebb and flowing. So I don't know where to sit. I'll let you guys tell me. Like, I usually give 8 to 10 picks. And I was getting, I got in the habit of hitting 8 out of 10 for months in a row. And I'm kind of going through a bit of the lull. So it's like, do I tail back and just kind of take it easy a bit? So I have about 4. We hit 1 out of 2 last night. Paro on points, then we lost our underdog, which is fine. And then I have a UFC dog. I took Charles Johnson at plus 250. That's live. And then my boxing dog is Kane Sandoval at plus 180 against Brandon Lee. That's live. So that's 2. And then I got Jaron Ennis on points. That's 3. That's live. And then I did a triple. A fight no one's talking about. Guys, if you're not watching my Stats Don't Lie videos this week so far, I did the Liam Talava'a versus Dempsey McKean fight. Obviously, Dempsey won. I picked Liam. I did the Paro versus Lewis Crocker fight. Paro won. I picked Paro. I just uploaded Ennis versus Zayas. That's on the channel. So watch. These videos take me like 4 hours to do. They're only about 10 to 15 minutes. I put a lot of energy into them. It's kind of why I started my channel. I filmed 2 documentaries in my life. I did a documentary on an ancient martial art in 2020 that was in all of the international film festivals. And I did a documentary about the Manly Ferry during the pandemic here that was in the Australian film festivals. So I really enjoy filming and editing and writing. And I'm a writer. So those Stats Don't Lie videos, I put a lot of time into it. If you support my channel, I'd ask you to just watch those too. I'll be uploading Yuri Cedeno versus Jahai Tucker. That fight is flying under the radar. That's a coin flip. Our Discord is torn on that fight. And the odds either way are great. If you like Yuri's a slight dog right now, but the odds are getting close. Damn, I'm going to try to get to the Tony Hirsch fight versus Benito. Both guys follow me on Instagram. I lost money on both guys last fight. I took Merriweather as a freaking 8-1 favorite against Tony Hurst Jr. wasn't even on my radar. And during the fight, we're like, who is this kid, dude? This dude is beating the brakes off of Merriweather. And then Benito was in a fight at plus 400, and I picked against him. So the Zuffa fights for me since January really haven't been going my way. I don't know. I might do what do we? Scare money don't make money. You guys know me. I'll do more parlays. But there's some tough matchmaking. I don't know if the matchmaking is so tough or the odds are so close because the last 12 months we've been winning so much. I don't know, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but it seems as of late, man, the matchmaking's been crazy. Yeah, should have been a draw as well. Not sure what you've seen in Liam, bro. Smash the top. What do you mean, not sure? I'm telling you what I saw in Liam. He's a buddy of mine. He's a powerful southpaw. And what are you talking about, dude? That fight could have ended either way. You're telling me Liam didn't... For all of you Dempsey McKean bettors, I guarantee you were stressed out. Every single exchange that fight could have ended. So whatever, Giselle. I don't know what you saw in Liam Tavoy. Bro, big, powerful, athletic southpaw, younger. Did you watch? You didn't watch the fights? Obviously, this dude didn't watch the fights. Because every single exchange, whether you were on Talava or Dempsey McKean up until it got stopped, no matter what side you were on, you were stressed out. Because that shit could have ended every exchange. That's why I took Liam. He was plus money. Do you guys not... Do you understand the strategy of betting? I'm not going to bet. This isn't a channel where I'm going to bet a guy who's getting me 30% return on the money line. It's just not how I make my money. I make my money by plus money bets. And sometimes it doesn't go my way. But to say, and this dude's a supporter. He's a JSP. Not sure what you've seen is super disrespectful. If you're not sure what I saw, watch my breakdown. I did a 15-minute breakdown on Dempsey McKean versus Talava. Not sure what you've seen is saying, oh, I knew that this was going to happen. Then why don't you start a channel, mate? You guys got me frustrated, but I never get frustrated either. Jesus. No, Johnny, let him hate. Don't let him get... They're under my skin today, man. I put a lot of energy into this. You got a comment section where any person thought any BS on their mind can be voiced negative. Yeah, the negativity does stand out. It's all good, man. You can't make them all love you. Rich Rivera, are people sleeping on Rivera, boys? He's fighting Ben Whitaker. He looks good on the scales, GK. We can pull that up. I'll pull the odds up in a second after I get done bitching and complaining. I get the bitch now. You guys are the ones who always get to complain. I never complain and bitch. I'm bitching today because I go to bed last night. We're up. We hit a plus money bet, and I wake up with everybody knew Paro was gonna win on points. That shit was easy. I don't know why this white boy picked Liam. Talava, bitch. Y'all cats are sus. Crocker won 6 rounds, definitely last 3. Going into the 7th, I had it 4-2. 4-3. No, he didn't. Paul's gas tank is the best. It did look like Paro was... Dude, Paro, after the 5th round, I was getting worried. That 5th round was a big round for Crocker, and he kind of... He didn't build from it. If you rewatch that fight, that 5th round, man, I was worried. Because it was cruising. Maybe it was a 6th. Maybe it was the 6th round. No, I think it was the 5th round. He started showing signs in the last 30 seconds. I still gave Liam the 5th. So I still had a 4-1. But it was the last minute of the 5th. You started seeing Crocker's pressure get to Liam a bit. And that was the round where he lands back-to-back straight right hands. And it was the first time where you saw Paro's head go like that 2 times in a row. I'm like, oh, shit. Oh, shit. And I still scored it for him. But I was expecting Crocker. And lately, our luck has been, you know, we'll win one, we'll lose one. So lately, I'm like, oh, shit, this is going to happen again. I was like, Paro's going to fade. I was like, Crocker's going to push it on. But then Crocker was never able to build from it. He kind of stayed there the next round, I think the 6th, and Liam outworked. What it came down to was Paro outworking him. Liam won that fight because he dug deep and he outworked Crocker. No, Ryan, you think Ryan and Raleigh would stop Paro? I don't think so. You think they would stop him? From a technical standpoint, Ryan and Raleigh are extremely flawed. Like, you think they would? I don't think so, bro. I like both guys. Ryan and Raleigh aren't stopping Liam Paro. Paro will be allowed to excessively hold elsewhere. Paro literally won't let go. Weeks didn't even warn him. Weeks warned him like 3 times. Weeks warned him for the headbutts. Weeks warned him for the... Dude, holding and clinching, though, is attack. Do you guys box? You get taught how to hold and clinch. If you're a boxer, you know that that's a technique. You know what I'm saying? So this makes him even a more well-rounded boxer. Think about the opposite to Julius's statement. Think about when we've seen guys who were favorites. Think about David Morrell getting knocked out against Chelly. This is a guy who doesn't know how to clinch. Morrell was a guy who showed us he doesn't know how to hold. Holding and clinching is a tactic. It's a technique that the highest level of... Look at Bud versus early days when Bud got rocked. He was fighting Mean Machine. Same sort of thing. Bud didn't go straight arm. We've seen before guys who are favorites, who are front runners, A-sides who get clipped, and they go straight arm and they get knocked out. Savages, studs, technicians, high-level world-class fighters know if you get stuck, you grab and clinch. That's called a technique. Just like a jab is a technique. Clinching is a technique. I was impressed with it. I was like, thank God Paro knows how to clinch. I was like, thank God we got a world-class boxer on our hands. Our bet will be safe. Paro loses Ryan Devin. I didn't say Devin. I rate Devin. I don't think Paro loses to Ryan. I think I would... Liam Paro's technical skill set as a southpaw against Ryan Garcia's very basic style. I think Liam beats Ryan. I think Liam beats Raleigh. I would love to see Liam versus Devin. Showing up week after week, what you actually built the community, the work ethic, put high interest, mate. Guys like you, supporters like you is why I keep doing it. I don't do it to pat myself on the back. I do it to spread the word of our sport, to grow our community. So when I see guys within our community who are sitting in the shadows waiting for us to lose, it's like, fuck off, man. Like, you obviously have me read wrong. That's not why I do this. Will ref allow Zayas to clinch? Who's ref? Guys, do we get public info on the refs beforehand? Because it seemed like, myself included last night, weren't we all sort of kind of shocked that we saw Tony Weeks? I feel like I should have known Tony Weeks was coming to Australia to ref that fight, but no, I don't. Is it public knowledge? Is there a database for us bettors and us boxing heads to see who's reffing the fights beforehand? It's not a side of the game that I'm well versed on. But moving forward, Julius, it's probably something we should look into as a team, because it's just another sort of element of the game. We know some refs like to let things go. We know some refs stop things early. We know some refs don't allow clinching. Some do. So this sort of thing. Because Liam headbutted, I was more worried about Liam's headbutts and the pushing, because what Crocker was doing is Crocker was coming in over his front foot, smothering, and he was trying to bully Liam without punching. That's where Crocker's shortcomings were coming from. He was trying to bully the space of the engagement without punching, especially early on the first 6 rounds. And Liam's like pushing him off of him. And then that push had turned into kind of a headbutt. I thought Liam was going to get a point deducted for the headbutting. And I did see Tony Weeks warn him a couple different times. He warned him about clinching at least once the last 3 rounds. How do you feel Ivich versus Dempsey? I think McKean handles Ivich. McKean is one of these guys, and we have him in whatever country you live in, America, Australia, Britain, wherever you are in the world. There's going to be fighters in a certain division who just cleans up domestically, and then when you take them internationally, they fall short. This is Dempsey McKean. I think I'd like to see McKean versus Terramona. I think that'd be a good test for Terramona. And then if Terramona gets past McKean, I would take him, I'd go all hands on deck. I really rate Terramona. Hopkins got another rain. Don't remind me. Lost that day. Yeah. Hopkins, B Hop. Jake, we're OGs to the game. OH. Popeye lost a split decision against Badu Jack. There was an accidental 4-minute round in the fight. So GK, are you leaning on Popeye here? Is anybody taking Popeye? I'll pull up the odds in a second. The chat's been popping off. Guys, 30 minutes in, 76 of you in here. Could you like the video? A little thumbs up for your boy, dude. I put a lot of energy into this. I don't ask for nothing. I don't ask for nothing. The crazy thing about me is in the Discord, I just ask for you guys to do film study. You know what I mean? And I'm like, put in some effort. Dude, watch some tape. I want to learn something. Nobody knows everything. You guys see something I don't see, and this is why we work together well. I feel like with CJ, he's a hit or miss, a bit inconsistent. He's another friend of mine. It's kind of the downfall. I won a lot of money when he beat Josh Van. I've known Charles for over a decade. You know, he's a St. Louis kid. So sometimes I've been in the game a long, long time, guys. I mean, I've been interviewing fighters both in MMA and boxing for over 15 years. So I'm 44 since I was 29, and I boxed as a kid, and I grew up with so like sometimes, and I told you guys in the Talava'a breakdown, I was like, I know him. I was like, this is kind of like a bet that I want him to win for his family. With Charles too, man, I remember, I've known him since he was on the regional days, the RFA and then the LFA. He'd win fights. This is how Charles fights. He'll win one and lose one, win one, lose one. He wins fights he shouldn't win, and he loses fights he shouldn't lose. He loses a lot of close split decisions. He kind of got dominated against Bruno, but he came back and won another big fight. And he has I'm always gonna bet on a guy. And those who said Talaval was a bad pick, fuck off. This kid fought for your money. I guarantee the Dempsey McKean betters every goddamn exchange you guys were sweating. And that's it. Even though it ended in the fourth, Liam was throwing. That's what I mean. He will fight for your bet. And he did. I have no problem losing a bet on a guy that I know is going to go out on a sword. This is betting, dude. What do you guys want? Freaking hell. Charles Johnson, same way. He's gonna fight for your money. I really like him on this fight. I like when he travels. Historically, him going internationally, this fight's in Azerbaijan. He's going against a 5'4" kid, and not in his opponents lost a handful of times. I think Charles is going to use his range, his distance, his jab. Charles could wrestle too and grapple. This kid doesn't have the power that Bruno had, so I really like Charles in this fight. Drop the link. I can talk about some players. All right, I'm gonna do it right now. I'll do it in the chat, Julius. I'll give you the mic too, because I do have to go to the bathroom. Invite guests. Copy. All right, Jay. Jay, that's for you. Oh, my boy Terry Lance is in the house. What's up, Terry? Terry's a former pro fighter. I always get excited when he pops in and out because I used to watch him fight. I think you cut your teeth at 126. Man, I'm torn between boots via decision. I know, me too, brother. The money line isn't worth it. I agree. What I know you were in Bud's camp. Do you think a lot of because Boots is one of these guys, and I talked about this in my breakdown, that I feel that when people hate on him, it's not necessarily anything he does in the ring. It's this sort of thing that happens in boxing whenever one career ends and you have to pass the torch over. And it's like a lot of, because Jaron is the guy that even when Bud was going on his run over the last 5 years, people were always saying Jaron's name right behind Bud. And I think it's Jaron's time to carry the torch for American boxing. But it's still so fresh in our minds about the domination of Terrence. And Terrence just tweeted yesterday, I don't know if you probably saw it, he kind of hinted a comeback. So it's kind of, could we see a mega super fight? Because we've heard it for years. Crawford versus Boots was a fight to make, and I never appeased it because I was like, Boots isn't ready for Terrence. Boots ain't ready for Bud. But if Boots, I picked Boots to beat Xander on points, and a lot of that has to do with my respect for Xander. Big, young, vibrant, 23-year-old, doesn't know how to lose. Does Boots really have one punch knockout power? I'm not saying he doesn't. Um, have we seen Xander cut? He doesn't seem to sort of like, some guys get hit and they swell up instantly. I don't know. I'd like to think it'll be a nip and tuck for the first six. I'm really interested in the chess match of who backs up first. Will Xander come out and fight on his front foot? Both guys are boxer punchers. Will Jaron doesn't like boxing backing up. I'm not saying he can't do it, but you don't really see him boxing off the back foot. It's a really intriguing fight. Ooh, RJ Raw dropping fire. I I think Liam versus B Norm would kind of look like I wouldn't mind B Norm versus Crocker or B Norm. I'm a big B Norm fan. Sorry. I still take shit. You guys still give me shit for taking B Norm against. I got honey dick, dude. We hit the plus 400 when B Norm knocked out Jin Sasaki. I drank the Kool-Aid and I picked Brian to beat Devin. And Devin hurt him early. Brian fought his way back into that fight. Look at the scorecards late. I would like to see Brian versus Stanionis. Nobody says Stanionis' name, man. Like, as I was doing the film study on Jaron, Sergey Lipnitz wasn't a champion when Boots beat him, but he was a champion. David Avanesyan, has a knockout win over the current champion at 154, Joshua Kelly. Chukachin's a tough night at the office for anybody. Boots was the first guy to beat Custio Clayton. People forget about that win. And then Stanionis, dude. Stanionis at 47 is tough, man. I would still pick the Lithuanian. I'd like to see the Lithuanian versus Raleigh. I'd like to see him versus Donovan. I'm gonna bring Julius on real quick.
What's up,
What's
man?
up?
What's up?
What's up? Where'd the shades go, big fella? I know you was the shades, but you look good regardless. How'd you do last night?
you know, the only play I missed was the Crocker money line. Um,
It
but yeah,
happens, man. It's a dude. He was at plus money and he was the champ. Like
taking
like
every time.
come on. This is what in earlier in the live that's part of my frustration is like over time what we're going to do as a community is help explain that sort of bet to people. Like you have a world champion who's undefeated, who's plus money. How am I not taking this? You know what I'm saying? And so I took Paro obviously, but Crocker was I thought Crocker was better than I thought he was, man. He impressed me, even though he lost.
Yeah, I took no distance. I got no distance on McKean and Talivar.
That's a good one.
That was like minus 115. I try to stay like my range is like minus 200 to minus to even, right? I see
Yep.
you're plus money, but
But
you
but
know,
but just opposite, like just on the other side of where your range is. I'm like plus 100, plus 200 guy. You're on the other side just slightly, but even see where I'm gonna get better is you're saying you pick no distance on McKean and Talava'a because it's Monday morning quarterback and the fight already happened. I'm thinking like, damn, I didn't even think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was so big eyed with taking the plus money dog at heavyweight domestically. You kind of think that this fight's not going the distance, and that's a good bet. And moving forward, it's something I'm going to be thinking about.
yeah, they had no distance at minus 112, and it's like, I
That's
mean,
a
you got
good bet.
two power punches, both in their 30s, both been
Yep,
knocked down. Yeah,
both been knocked out.
yeah.
It's a good
Um,
bet. What did you see? What to even because I think it's a good experienced betters like yourself and myself. I think it's a good chat to have. After the fight, I could look at a bet that I won and compliment the fighter that I bet against, right? So it's something that I think experienced bettors will do. Just it's how we get better and it's how we win consistently. Like I looked at Crocker, even though I bet against him, I didn't expect him to be that, to be there that late. The game plan was smart. He took a little bit, he gave away too many early rounds, But in that fifth round, he came out and he was pressing him, and I felt like if Crocker could have built on the momentum he had in the fifth and sixth, he could have won the fight. But he couldn't keep it up. He couldn't keep that veracity up.
Well, but my, and on that fight, that's a fight I probably didn't acknowledge. Home ground advantage, the business interest. What I mean, but I'm not. I favor clinching. That's part of the game. But when the referee was trying to separate Pyro and Crocker, Liam wouldn't let go. That's when I
No,
said, okay, that's no. It was the that's that that
not the
that
11th
level
and
of
12th.
clinch.
The 11th and 12th, it was blatant.
10, 11, and 12. He was
Yeah,
he held his
he was holding.
glove. He wouldn't let go, and I was like, "Now that level of clinching,
It's different.
that gets you a point taken off
Yeah,
in most
yeah,
places." And I
yeah.
don't
Not
see
at
him getting
not at
away
home.
with that.
Not at home.
Power was not getting away with that in UK. He ain't getting away with that in
In
America. So
America.
no
No, he ain't
way.
getting. You're not getting away with that in Madison Square Garden. You're not getting away with that in Vegas. You know what I'm saying? And it's a. I was worried about the headbutt point deduction too. There was a low blow that was blatant. Liam had to survive, so I understand people are like, oh, he survived, but when a fighter survives and they have a big lead, that's not. You can't say that he lost.
Because I
But
seen referees, it literally just come in and take a point. I mean, because I remember when Tevin Farmer was fighting, he gets points taken for holding, and his hold is never that egregious. So it's like, I have to acknowledge what I'm trying to get better at is the Japanese and Australian boxing. It's different. Y'all got
way
rugby
different.
fighters fighting. It's a
Way
little
different.
different. It's a little different than I'm a usual because Australian fights haven't been available to American audience for probably like what last 3 years. So I'm not as
Okay.
privy to Australia. And what I know is I said, okay, they have like rugby fighters. A
Yep.
lot of it's
It
like circus show, to be honest, but that's,
it
that's what
is.
they do. That's what they
It
do, yeah.
is. We got some super chats coming in. I want you to answer them. We got Javier Cito with two super chats. We're gonna hit his first one up, and both are great questions. He goes 2,800 on Vargas by stoppage and De Los Santos by stoppage, paying plus 1370. Let's cash. What do you think about that? Vargas is fighting Bryce Mills, and we know that De Los Santos is coming fighting a rematch against Ryo. How do you see that? I don't mind that bet. 2,800, boy. You got that good bankroll. Thanks for the tip.
Now I like the Vargas stoppage, but Raul,
What's your take on the Ryo? Because I'm seeing the boys in the Discord are split right now. Some are saying this is a new version of him. He's re-energized. He learned from the last fight, and on the same vein, they're like De Los Santos is a bit older. Ring rust hasn't been in there. What's your take?
well, it's like the Raul fight right now. That's a fight I'm gonna take distance, right? That's what, so like this how I would do. Uh, Play like that a distance. We gonna go heavy on them, but because I see, but one thing that concerns me is a variable that I study. When a favorite has three losses, in boxing, unlike other sports, because there's no off season, being in grueling fights takes away from the fighter that he don't get back. Like the old saying, once you leave the ring, you leave some with you. And Raul has been in some tough fights, more
Mm,
so than Ella. De Los Santos had the best performance against Shakur.
he did.
No other fighter has had the level of success he has
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, no
So
other
I'm
fighter
like,
ended the fight. No other fighter got through Shakur, and people are like, "Oh shit, I think less of Shakur." That's never happened. Like Shakur had to overcome like like almost a year after the Edwin De Los Santos of like getting Twitter rage baited, people saying he was running. And it's a good point. And De Los Santos didn't really get touched that fight. No one really did.
De Los Santos has not, outside of the Ryo drop. He hasn't had any, at 130. See, De Los Santos will lose to a pure boxer, but that's not Raw. And
Ryo's green. Yep.
I don't think Raw can move. Like I said, pyro performance, that's the gold standard of that style. Being able to run for 12 rounds. Josh Kelly versus Bachman. being able to run for 12 rounds consistently throughout the fight. Every fighter can't do that, and Raw can't. And right now, man, I'm heavily leaning De Los Santos. But
So let me ask you this. So Edwin knocks him out in the third round in their first fight, which was 4 years ago. What makes you think it goes the distance this time?
well, whenever see, I kind of study variables. This is something a lot of people don't do. I have a degree in math, and
Hmm.
I print out the sheet from
You
box
got the charts. Yeah, bro, we
and
know, baby. You're a sharp, baby. We know. You got the charts. You're organized. You keep track of patterns. So
the
what makes you
pattern is okay.
what makes you flip flop the pattern from because the pattern would say the boys fought before, Ryo got knocked out before. Shouldn't he get knocked out again? What makes you think that he won't get knocked out again?
Because whenever the underdog is young,
Holy
under
shit. How old's
under
Edwin De Los Santos?
26,
Isn't
he's
that freaking insane, dude?
he's younger than Raw.
He's younger than Ryo. People think somebody in our Discord said Edwin was old. I just checked it. I looked, I was like, he's 20, he's younger than Ryo.
I don't see a gun blazing match like in their first fight because in their first fight, Raw. Remember in that first fight, man, it was like a plus 600, plus 700. He came in as an unknown commodity. It's before the Shakur performance. It's
Mm,
before he was finna fight Keyshawn. He was a it's just a let's be real, just a Dominican guy. You know what I'm saying? Not a lot of people thought a lot of him. That's
yeah.
why Ryle went in so aggressive.
Uh-huh.
But this fight, I'm assuming, but just because of it, whenever you have an underdog like Dale Santos that's young, undefeated, never been
How big do you? I don't remember off jump, but how big of a dog was he going into that first one
like I said, I keep my records plus 600. Some bookies have him plus 700. People
on the
forget he
money
can't.
line?
De Los Santos came in as an unknown commodity. He was nobody knew who he was, and like you said, he just a guy from Dominican Republic. Nobody thought nothing of him.
Shout out to the DR, baby. We up.
But like I said, similar to Sedeno, but what I'm saying is that I see these guys. I do get what you say, but what's what I do though? It's what I put a stock in. Yes, you are for Dominican Republic, but you was fighting in all the top amateur tournaments in South America, right? You have some layers to your game, right? It's not you're not gonna be easily stopped. You understand boxing to similar to Dominican who went the distance with Madrimov.
Bro, you and me, if you remember, I have it on my channel. Me and you broke down 48 hours before Yuri Cedeno fought Atundi. We did just like this, and we broke down why Cedeno on points was the play. And we hit that bet. Me and you saw eye to eye on Cedeno Yuri beating Atundi, and we got him at like I think plus 118 to win on points, and he went the distance, hurt him to the body, really beat him up. So it's not like guys, if you know the 76 people in here, we're kind of turning the page now and talking about Cedeno versus Jahai Tucker, but we'll get there. I want to talk about this super chat. He talks. What do I think about Abdullah Mason's new opponent, Javier Cito? Dude, this is Albert Bell from Toledo, Ohio. I grew up in Youngstown, Ohio. Abdullah Mason's from Cleveland, Ohio. We've known about Albert Bell for over a decade. This is a 6 foot tall lightweight. The top rank is shelved. Nobody wants to fight him. Can't get him good fights. He was a plus 450 last week against Andy Cruz, and I went heavy on Albert Bell on the money line. And this shows you the respect they have for him because now he's only a plus 240 against Mason right now.
Yeah,
So
I'm very concerned with Mason right now. Yeah,
I don't like this fight at all, man. I wish it wasn't happening. I don't like the Ohio Civil War. you know, like, you wait your whole career to fight for a world title and then you go against a kid that you kind of mentored. Like, these guys have known each other. He's known Abdullah since he was like 12, 13 years old.
I don't see him stopping Bell. Nah, that's the play I'm looking at. Nah, you said that he's a plus 200, so they might not have the no distance. Cause like that's the type of fight where I'm like, the distance alone would be plus money.
Distance alone.
If
Yeah.
the distance alone, I'm taking that. That's the off rip. Cause yeah, Bell is a guy who's like I said, he's trained. He's well schooled. He has survival. I'm looking for does the underdog have survival tactics?
Yes, sir.
Bell
Well,
never been dropped or nothing.
Albert Bell's never been beaten. He's 6 feet. Dude, Albert Bell's going into this fight thinking he's going to beat Mason.
And
Just
my
to let
big,
everybody know, Albert Bell's a dog, man. He's long. He fights from the outside. He has a great jab, good feet, good ring IQ, good fight at range, has good uppercuts. Mason, he's still kind of green, even though he's a world champion.
I'm concerned with Mason making 135, man. Because I'm saying, if you look at his last couple weigh-ins, he's had to
260.
he can't make the weight unless he take his underwear off, right? I'm saying it's to that point, right? Like he's really, I see a dude really struggling to make 135. And I thought this last fight was gonna be his last fight at 135 because you notice he was not as explosive. I'm very concerned. These are things a lot of people now. I want be honest with you, if he has to take his underwear off again, do like when they had like a big
Yeah.
rat, if he got to do that at the weigh-in this time, I'm taking bail. That's my biggest concern for this fight because I feel like
A rough weight cut. And then, and guys, what Julius is saying, when you cut a lot of weight, you're losing a lot of fluid around your brain. And we've seen Abdullah hit the canvas before. It's not like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you have a rough weight cut, you're not as durable, and you're more prone to getting those flash knockdowns. So it's a good point. It's a good fight, man. Dude. Plus 260 when Albert was a plus 480 against Andy Cruz. That doesn't make sense to me. That's crazy. They're saying that Kane Sandoval versus Brandon Lee is off. Did you hear anything about this?
hmm, that's
I
crazy. I was just looking into that fight. I was just looking into it
I,
before
I
you.
was taking Kane was my dog of the week.
That's another fight. I was just to the distance. Still saying like there's a
I still got it up.
uh
So but they're saying you're in America. Do you got DraftKings in America?
yeah.
Could you check that for me if you can? Or no? If you
uh
can, it's all good.
Nah, I can't get nah.
It's all good.
I'm on bet 365. DraftKings and FanDuel. I don't know. They don't. I don't
Okay,
talk.
we got another one. Let's not forget Zuffa has a knockout bonus. De Los Santos interview. He's gonna stop him. Okay, Javier in the house. Javier, thanks for the super chats. Julius, comment on that one.
See, Ryo, he's gonna fight similar to how he fought Pitbull because he knows who's the bigger punch in this fight. There's no question. He knows that. He knows that. And De Los Santos, his Ryo is not gonna try to engage. That's why I see the fight.
You don't think so, Ryle? I don't know if he could help it. It's like in him, and this is why he like, has a fan base because he wins a world title with like what 13 pro fights, not really a big amateur career, and then he loses it. He didn't defend it. Then he was a world champion, wasn't he?
He
He
beat
fights. He
Cruz.
fights. He fights super brave, and you think that he could control that? You think that he could just shut that off when
He
when
did
it
not
starts?
fight like that against Cruz. He did not fight like that
Oh,
against his last fight. And also another thing about Raw that I'm concerned, you went up to 140. Now you coming back down to 135.
it's a good point.
These are
No one's mentioning
things.
that. It's a
These are
good point.
things. No, man.
It's a good point. I didn't even because we had the Australian card last night. I've spent the last 3 days putting all my energy into that. I haven't got to the Rio versus De Los Santos Tabia. I didn't know that. That's a good looking out. It's at 135.
Yeah. Raw won his championship at 140 because he lost to
He
Russell.
beat he beat Pitbull.
He beat
And Gary
Pitbull.
Antoine Russell beat the brakes off. It's so crazy. Gary Antoine Russell's domination in that fight has me thinking that Gary stopped him, but he didn't. He just beat him from pillar to post.
That's another fight. If you look at that fight, it's a variable that I point out to the chat. You had whenever they have an underdog in their 20s who is undefeated, man, if that distance is anywhere in that minus 100, I'm dropping heavy on it.
This is Xander. This is the Xander. Oh, Xander is a 4-1 dog almost against Boots, but the distant. Well, Jaron on points is paying plus 280, I think.
Hey man, that's like I said, that's up in the air, man. Like I say, I said what I feel about that. And the 154-pound division is the most competitive. This
There's
is
a
why
lot
I'm
of
most
guys in that. There's a lot of guys in that joint that aren't active right now. Like Brandon, people don't do Brandon Adams, even though he's 82 years old. I would put Brandon Adams in there with anyone.
you rarely have a champion at 154 who keeps the belt and stays a long time. Really, Fundora, outside of Fundora, that the belt's been flipping flopping from that's why
Yep.
I'm concerned. I'm like, man, because I said if Boost would have had another fight at 154, I could gauge a little better. But it's like you're fighting the guy. You have to say this. Zayas has the best gas tank of any of Boost's components. Out of all Boost's 30 opponents, Zayas hands down will have the greatest gas
Well,
tank.
I don't know. Ava was known for having a motor, man. The European titles he was winning,
Right,
Ava Nisha was
Ebenezer,
known for.
he was
He
in
was
his
known for
mid
having a
30s
motor.
though. He was in his
Yeah,
mid
yeah, you're
30s.
right. He was in his mid 30s. He was. So so you like Xander here?
Man, Xander on points, man. That's it.
Oh shit,
Like
that's plus
I
six
told
hundred.
you,
I think.
like
I
I
think
said,
it.
Muratov, Andy Cruz, he is prematurely being
You think
anointed,
that's what this is?
man. Prematurely anointed
Andy
to
Cruz had
win.
6 fights. Boots has 35 fights.
He no, this is a bigger. This is a wave. You right? It's similar, but you remember now, Andy Cruz all at the Olympics, they were saying
I
he was
drank the
going.
Kool Aid. I drank the Kool Aid. I'm not even
I
gonna trip.
remember that. I keep up, man. I keep up with my
I know you do.
boxing
You know,
database up in here, but
yeah,
and I
bro.
feel like
I don't ever shy away from my L's, boy. I'd write everything down. I drank the Andy Cruz Kool Aid, and Morataya impressed me, man. I want to get to Terry's comment. He says, "Fun fact: I trained Venezuelan Olympian Eldrick Saya, drew Yuri Cedeno first round of the Olympics in 2021. Wasn't pretty. Cedeno been on my radar since." And I'm glad Terry brought this up because in Julius and I, we once did a live stream and we broke down Yuri Cedeno. It was the 2D fight, I think his last fight. And I like Yuri. I like Jahai. I think Jahai's the oldest 23-year-old in boxing right now in terms, and that's a common narrative. We know he's been tough, matched tough, et cetera, et cetera. I don't know if Yuri's sort of like shiny toy image, nice, big, marauding, big, powerful puncher from the Dominican. Is that going to mean anything against Jahai? Oh, we bringing Gary on? Gary, look at G sliding in, brother.
You
what's
don't
up,
go
How's
live
Gary?
it?
at this time. You go live earlier than this. But yeah, this is
Not on Thursdays. So
oh,
it's
okay.
it's my Thursday. I always have to do this live because I have clients.
Okay, cool. All
How'd
right.
you get the link?
You have it in the chat, bro.
The big fella. So this is Julius. I saw you and Julius were on
I've heard Julius
earlier.
been on my channel before.
Yeah,
Julius come on my channel more often. But Julius the
I just
man.
I know. I just saw it. Since we got Gary here, boys, we were answering.
I only
Terry,
got like 15 minutes, but I just wanted to come on and ask you about the fight.
here's what we'll do then. So you haven't gone live yet?
No, I just went live. I went live at
Oh,
10 o'clock my time because I thought you'd be done by then. And they
okay,
told me,
yeah.
Johnny, just don't. You usually go live about 8:30 my time.
I do, but on my Thursday, which is your
Thursdays,
Wednesday,
yeah.
I have to go late.
All
So
right.
so Terry,
yeah.
we'll get organized. We'll get organized, brother.
You want to go live tomorrow? You have time to go live? Like
I can
tomorrow?
go live to. I can.
All
my
right.
10, my 10 a.m. canceled. I'll text you off. I'll text you off
Yeah.
record.
All right. Cool.
Julius. So Julius and I were talking to Terry. Terry was talking about Yuri Cedeno. I just did my film study. Haven't uploaded it, Gary. Cedeno Jahai off jump. Who do you like in this?
This is a
We're
great
putting
fight.
we're putting you on the spot, bro.
It's the best fight of the weekend. I love this fight.
Sleeper fight of the week, bro. Sleeper fight of the week.
I like Jahai. But my concern is that Jahai gets into a war with him. I think Jahai is the much better boxer, the much more skilled fighter. My concern is that I don't think he's a big hitter. Not at 160. And if he gets into a war with Cedeno, it might be trouble. And he gets a little too brave for his own good sometimes. I'm still going to take Jahai. But
Me too.
if Jahai makes it through the fight, he wins. If he's on his feet, he wins. But that's a big if. I'm going to take Tucker, though.
When my issue with, and I agree with you, I have Tucker on one ticket. I did a 3-leg on the money line. I got him at, I think, 62% return, 162. I think Cedeno gets a bit loopy, gets a bit wide with his punches. I think he gets a bit predictable. And I think Jahai Tucker, I'm leaning on his ring IQ. I'm leaning on his experience. I'm always hesitant too, boys, with this Dominican shiny record knockout to win ratio over the last 10 years in boxing. I don't put a lot of interest in he's a Dominican Olympian. It's not the same as being an American Olympian. And I know my Discord is like 80-20. 80% of the boys like Cedeno, so it's not a popular pick.
They like Cedeno?
Yeah, 80% of the boys in my Discord are going Cedeno. I'm going Tucker. Julius,
Nah, I'm
you're
taking
going
Sedeno on points.
Cedeno on points. You think he's going to win a decision?
Man, I think this
He's
is the
good.
coming out party for Sedeno. Great. Man, that ain't the size advantage because Jaha Tucker does not like to fight on the inside. He cannot fight Sedeno on the outside. If he stands on the outside, he's gonna get picked apart. So he has to come in. And I don't think he can clinch Sedeno. Sedeno going like I said, man, when you got an 8-inch reach advantage. This changes the game plan. Jahai Tucker cannot fight like he fought Simpson, Williamson, and man Tucker,
Don't
man.
sleep on Truck, man. What people are sleep? You guys better put some respect on Truck's name. Put some. Who is Cedeno fought? Have you looked? If I had a fourth screen, I'm looking at it on my laptop here. Cedeno's resume, who he's been paired up with, is not good at all.
I like
He
that he fought. Only nah. See, this is the
he
thing
beat
about
up.
boxing.
He beat Atundi.
This thing about boxing. Similar like when I took Perez in boxing. If you don't come out the gate with a promoter, you're going to be relegated to the club circuit wherever you are. Now, however, Cedeno is one of those fighters, man. Like I said, been fighting them South American tournaments for years, has size. He believes he will win, has power, and Tucker, man, he wasn't able to knock out Journeyman. I'm saying we look at
He's
Cedeno's
not a
fading
hitter.
record. Yeah,
Let
Cedeno
me
was
push
knocking
back on a
out
couple.
Journeyman.
Let me push back on a couple of things. When he wasn't knocking out those, he turned pro back in the bubble, the top ranked bubble, when he
17
was
years old.
17,
Yeah,
bro. He was a kitty kid. He was a
he was a
little
kid.
baby idiot. Yeah. If Cedeño's going to win a decision, he's going to have to score a couple of knockdowns, right? I mean, you don't think he's going to outbox him and win more rounds. He's going to have to score some knockdowns and get some 10-8 rounds, right?
This is what I believe gonna happen throughout the fight. Cedeno is going to be on the front foot, and High Tucker's going to be on the back foot. And in American fights, it's hard to win on that back foot in America. This ain't UK. You ain't gonna win in America on the back foot. And I think that Jahai Tucker gonna realize in the fight that man, I can't beat this guy, but he ain't gonna stop me. And he
Wow.
gonna survive. I listen,
Wow. I
Tucker,
don't see.
Tucker is gonna get hit harder than he's ever been hit before tomorrow Saturday. And I want to see what he does. He gonna come on the front foot? I don't see it.
Let's see. Well, we got a super chat coming through. Javier Cito taking care of the squad. G, opinion on De Los Santos. Knockout Emiliano. This is something, Gary, before you jumped on, we got the rematch with De Los Santos versus Rayo. We know that De Los Santos, stopped him the first time 3 years ago in the third.
Yeah.
And then Vargas is fighting Bryce Mills. Are people overlooking Bryce Mills here?
I like Bryce Mills. He's not bad at all.
Upper New York kid, right? He's a New Yorker kid, right?
Upstate New York. Yeah. A lot of times you get a white boy from the middle of nowhere with a padded record. His kid's not bad. He's got nothing for Vargas. He
Okay.
might go the distance. Like everyone is falling in love with Vargas by his knockout.
The knockout.
This kid tough as hell. Like it's gonna come down to a couple of things. How much of a beating does he want to take, and how much does the ref let go on? Right? Because he's gonna lose every round for the most part, but he's gonna be competitive enough where it's like, all right, let's not stop it, unless they decide to stop it. Right? Like, does his corner stop it? I don't think so. Does the ref stop it? That's what we're looking at. I don't see Vargas putting him out cold. Right? So how much of a beating are you going to let him take? That's what it comes down to. I think if you let him, Mills will make it to the final bell.
You don't see a path to victory for him?
A path to victory? Nah. I can't see it. Vargas is more skilled. He's the better athlete. He's much faster. I don't think Mills is bad at all, but Vargas is a much better prospect.
And then the De Los Santos versus Rayo rematch.
I would lay off the methodology. I would just take De Los Santos on the money line.
Yeah, Julius had to remind me that De Los Santos is just turned 26 years old. That's insane. Yeah. Because when you think about, like, he fought Rayo the first time, so you're telling me he was 22 years old when he fought Rayo the first time, and 23 when he fought Shakur. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah.
And And so we're not worried about his ring rust. We're not worried about the inactivity.
How long has he been out of the ring? Let me hang on.
I think he hasn't fought since he had one fight since Shakur, and I gotta buy it. Hey, he fought Elliot Chavez in 2025. He fights Shakur in 2023 in November. Elliot Chavez December of 2025. Oh, so, okay, so he
Wow,
fought.
that Venezuela fight was wow. That was 4 years ago. That's crazy.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
We do, yeah, dude. That's freaking crazy. We're in a vacuum, bro. So, I guess at 26, I'm kind of torn on the idea of ring rust when you're in your mid 20s. This kid's in his prime, probably not even in his physical prime. It's not like he's 36. So Julius thinks it goes the distance.
I think it goes. I would lay off the methodology. I think it goes the distance, but the odds are good enough to me just to take De Los Santos on the money line.
Okay. Are you getting news that the Sandoval Brandon Lee fight is off?
I haven't heard that. We were just talking about it. I haven't heard that. I better not.
Chat
I'm
was-
looking forward to that fight. I'm really looking forward to that fight.
So who do you like in that fight?
I'm going to do the tape tonight, but I think I like Brandon Lee. Off the top of my head, I like Brandon Lee.
Okay. How about Tony Hirsch Benito? Is that fight on your radar?
I haven't looked at it. I haven't taped it yet. You have thoughts on it? I don't have any thoughts off the top of my head.
So this guy, for all the chat, we got 84 folks in here, just like the video. Gary, and Julius are talking about the Zuffa card, right? And I'm going to be straight up with the boys. I have not been able to get a good read in terms of getting consistent with betting on these fights on Zuffa. There's a lot of dogs that win. Tony Hirsch was a 10-1 underdog in his last fight against Merriweather, and he won. And Benito was a 5-1 dog in his last fight on the same card.
Was that the same card? Yeah, it was the same card.
Same
right?
card.
Yeah.
And he knocked his opponent out in the second or third. Now these two guys are fighting. It's like, bro, man, and it's like on paper, each guy is 50-50, whichever way you split it. The tape isn't gonna. I watched the tape on both guys. They're at a stage in their career in terms of not stepping up, and this is why I'm struggling with Zuffa. Is like, you only get so much from watching them on tape against low-level opponents. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I've been kind of hesitant with the Zuffa betting in terms of how heavy I've been going. I do like De Los Santos on the money line against Rayo, and then I like Kane Sandoval against Lee. But that's probably a personal decision.
Yeah, the only fight on the Zuffa card I'm looking at that I try to they rarely have these kind of fights. They rarely have
Trinidad, dude.
That's the only fight. That's the only fight.
That's the upset look. I don't like Trinidad. I was originally high on Trinidad.
You like Encajas?
Julius, no, but I really don't like Trinidad. I'm all the way off. I was high on Trinidad when he was coming up on those Loftler cards, the 360 cards. I'm off Trinidad. I'm gonna chill on that.
Takuma anyway stopped in Caius. And Takuma.
Yeah, he's not a puncher. He's not a puncher.
And he's not a puncher, and that's 118.
What weight class?
And that's at 118.
18.
Where was Encajas fighting at a couple years ago?
115.
Yeah.
So where's this fight at?
126.
That's what I'm talking about, dude. Omar Trinidad. Don't they
when
call
I
him
seen
sugar?
That,
all right, don't they call him sugar?
That's the only fight that's like we sacrificing this veteran to build up this guy. Every other fight on the Zuffa card is a crossroads 50-50.
And K-House is a world-class fighter. We can say I always thought Top Rank overrated him. I always thought people like
Gary, when he was at his best, where was he fighting at? When you 15, remember him as a
15.
That's what I'm okay.
Hear me out. This is a big jump up. 11 pounds in a small weight class is a lot. But he's a world-class fighter. We all know he's at the highest level. Are we certain that Omar Trinidad is? Because I'm not.
People think he is. They think
I was, and then the last couple of fights, I'm like, nah, I'm not chilling Omar Trinidad.
What do you think, Julius?
Nah, I think this is an example, man. A lot of fighters similar to Encajas they never gonna retire. The only way they gonna retire, somebody gonna have to put them out their
misery.
Never.
Benito. Yeah, these boys.
Palis. Those Filipino fighters, Donaire still fighting at 43. So it's like I feel like Kajas is just selling his name and likeness. You know what I'm saying? He's like, well, he's a two division champ. He's champ at 112 too. So I'm
Can't
like,
Omar punch? Are we tripping? I'm pretty sure
and Omar he knocked out his last dude. I'm
Omar
saying,
can punch. Omar can punch a bit.
I'm not saying I'm taking Tejas. I'm saying I don't like the price. I'm not taking Trinidad. That much I will tell you. I'm not taking Trinidad. Now, am I crazy enough to take Tejas? I don't know.
Do it. Do it.
he
Do
plus
it. Do
275.
it.
I thought that was insane. I thought Trinidad was gonna be like a minus 1,000. When I first seen that fight, I said, "Am I looking at this right?" Man, look up where did Kajas fight last? He fought a he fought a club fight in Mexico against a dude with 10 knockout losses, and now you finna move up 2 weight classes to fight a power puncher at
That's what my
126.
issue is. My issue is the seasoning, like how young Omar is compared to Ankos, where the fight is taking place, and the tread on the tires. So like if we remove our emotional attachment to the career potential versus the guy who had a career, and you're looking at just that sort of thing, it's tough for me to put a dollar on Encajas.
And put it like this: if Cajas was fighting Diaz, I would have some concern. At 118, if he was
That's
fighting,
a decent. Are you talking about Floyd Diaz versus Santa
yeah,
Banez?
if
That's
if
a
if
decent fight. That's a
if,
50-50 fight.
if Diaz was gonna fight and Cajas at 118,
Yeah.
I would say okay, Cajas got a chance. But at 126, man, he got a small reach, and he's small, man, like 5'5". I know. What's that has a 6-inch reach advantage.
Dude, Trinidad's 5'10", Gary.
Man, I see
Yeah, I
they got
know that. That's
a lot against him.
and I thought his best performance was his last one, like the Max Ornelas fight. I thought Ornelas. I actually picked Ornelas to beat him in that fight, and then
these Zuffa fights, man.
Am I sleeping on Omar Trinidad? I was a big Omar Trinidad guy that I really chilled on him.
Well, the Lorenzo Parra draw, he had, it's just kind of tough when people get sold to us a certain product, and then we're old guys like us, Gary and I. We've been sold like this guy's a power puncher, and we've seen guys fight their like. I'll use Pavlik. His whole career, he was a knockout artist, right? Retired with 34, 33 knockouts. The product was legit. This guy was knocking people out. When you get Omar, a guy like this, newer guy who sold to us a certain product, and we see that it might not be the same deal, I can see why you were soured on him a bit. But
the other one I wanted to touch on, Floyd Diaz is going to lose. Like,
Mhm.
I know the score. I know the scorecards are why in his last fight with Guillermo Gutierrez, that fight was a lot closer than the scorecards indicated, and he also lost to Max Ornelas.
Sandy Bonas is a plus 160. So is that our dog?
That's our dog.
Are we going to agree? I'll jump on it.
People just like Floyd Diaz because as a little kid, he was on the Mayweather 24/7 hitting the mitts, right? He's actually not that good. He's never been that good.
Hey, one thing about Diaz that you talk about like Gear, he has a record similar to British fighters. He has 14 fights with 3 knockouts. That's my biggest concern, man. You wasn't knocking out journeyman. Well, I say if you can't knock in the American boxing circuit, if you can't knock out journeyman, you don't reach the top. It doesn't happen like in Britain and whatever. Like in Britain, you can go 20 with 2
It's a different
knockouts.
game, man.
In America, you better knock out them.
I was thinking about this a lot actually, because you might be onto something. I think in Britain the boys are worried about like having to work at Monday morning. Like if you're boxing and you're like not making any money and you're a fucking like plumber, you're not gonna go and risk your fucking. You got to make money. I think it could be part of that.
Well, in the British tour, you can become a professional journeyman and just fight every week. You can do that. You can't really do that in the U.S. You can do it
exactly. So you guys, so Floyd, the funny thing you said about Floyd Diaz, about being on the what was it, the money team?
24/7. Yeah, he's on the money team. Yeah, hitting the mitts.
It was kind of like Jorge Chavez when he fought Gucci Flores. Jorge Chavez did a video with Mr. Beast, and like everybody jumped on him, either hated him or loved him for it. But so you like Santa? I haven't done tape on Santa Banez. You like at 160. What sort of guy is he? Is he just gonna outpoint him? And I don't remember watching him as of late. When was his last fight?
Santa Banez?
Yeah. He fought in 2025 against
Oh,
Like, there's not much there on his resume.
you can find tape on him. Yeah, this is definitely obviously a step up for him. I don't think he's ever flown out of Mexico. You can find tape on him. There's plenty of tape on him. I don't
Yeah.
think he's ever flown out of Mexico. But he
Okay.
is what he is. He's going to come forward and he's going to make life hell. And Floyd Diaz can't punch. If you can't punch and you're fighting a Mexican who just will not take a step backwards, you might be in trouble, right? Like you might be.
Okay. So it's worth the
Like
sprinkle.
Yeah, and Diaz has never fought. One thing about Diaz, he's had a great management, because if you look at his record, he's never fought a fighter with a high TKO percentage. This is first one ever. First fighter ever that has a high knockout rate. And so it's like that's when I'm concerned. They do. Diaz was on top rank. He was the shiny object for a minute. I remember when he came out, he was like, oh, he was friends with Mayweather. But man, he just, to me, yeah, like I agree with 3D, man. Yeah, he gonna rough him up. He gonna rough him up.
Okay. Okay. So, boys, although in the chat, look at your book, see if you're getting the Santa Benez Floyd Diaz fight. They're saying Santa Benez is live. That fight was
it's
not on my.
yeah. His name is Jose Terran. So if you're looking for tape on, just look up Jose Terran, and
Okay. It
yeah.
just wasn't on. It wasn't on my radar. You guys are making me second guess my Jahai Tucker pick. By the way, the whole chat. No one's saying. No one's agreeing with me or 3D about liking Tucker. Everyone likes Cedeno. Gary, are we digging our boots in the hill? I never flip flop. By the way, I'm always my bet's already in.
Uh, on Tucker,
Comparing Cedeno to Tucker to Ingram versus Cushion is crazy though, bro. Come on, mate. Cushion versus Ingram was like that was like a YMCA fight.
I picked
Jahan
Ingram in
Ingram.
that fight.
So did I. I took Jahan. I took John Ingram too. But you can't compare the matchup, right?
All right,
So you got to get out of here.
I gotta drop off. Yeah, I gotta drop off. Let's text me after you
I'll
after you're
text you
done.
after.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we'll
gotta
do it
drop off.
tomorrow. Thanks for
Well,
jumping on.
All right,
all right,
appreciate you.
3D.
All right, later,
3D.
Julius.
Julia, so are you putting money on Santa Bonez to beat Floyd Diaz?
See, right now I'm looking at it and I'm like, if we had to make a list, right, for this weekend, top three live
Upsets?
dogs. Yeah, he's
I'm
up there. I
making a
mean,
lit. Go on.
I would say the top live dogs for this week are De Los Santos, Sendeno, my bad, four, Zayas, Cedeno, De Los Santos, and Tehran Santabez.
Santa Bonez. Wow. You think the only of all like De Los Santos, it's kind of a 50-50 fight. Either way, you're getting slightly plus money. I like Edwin in this fight. The only one I'm worried Santa Bonez fight wasn't on my radar, so I have to do my homework. You guys have me questioning my Jahai Tucker pick. I got to be honest. Only because you and I have broken down Cedeno together, and I really liked him when I broke him down. But I've been watching Tucker since he was a teenager too, and people are hating on the Truck Simpson fight. What you guys don't realize, you have to remember, the Truck Simpson fight was an emotional grudge match. These boys, their families didn't like each other. They got in a fight at an amateur fight before. It was what, Baltimore versus whatever towns they're from. It was like very personal, and I felt like when a fight's personal and you're fighting off emotions, you fight a certain way. It wasn't Jai's best fight, but he wasn't in trouble in that fight. So I don't know, man. Do you think the boy? I've never pulled a bet out. I've never pulled one out, but you guys are making me question. I might go Cedeno.
I just like
I'll be called a bitch though. I don't want to be called a bitch.
he.
I ain't never been no bitch.
This is a fight that I don't think. See, I don't think Tucker knows what he's getting into. I don't think he really knows, because he's been matched well, in my opinion.
Tough.
Tucker.
He's been tough.
No, I don't know. That's why I say he's been not fighting power punchers. You in America, I'm very
Well,
concerned.
there was a time.
So
There was a
Isaac,
time. There was a time where Nick Flaz was a guy that was known to punch.
well, yeah, okay, you could say, yeah, he had one that
Yeah,
was considered, and
he was
he
not. He
roughed
was
him up.
19 years old. He was
He roughed
19
him.
years old.
Veron, now come with this.
Veron's a dog,
Okay,
dude.
look.
People are like
Every time he fights a fighter with a considerable power that's above average,
he was a
Veron,
he was a teenager. Those fights happened in his teens.
but you took punishment from those fights.
Oh, you're
You
saying
can
there's
give
going to
me
be, you think there's going to be carryover effects when you're that young?
this one. When I look at a fighter and I see a favorite who's already, because in America, the favorite is normally just some A side who's undefeated, great
Marketable.
everything.
Yeah.
It's a lot of question marks in Jahai Tucker's record. He has had a draw. He has lost. I've seen Tucker take a considerable amount of punches already in his career. I haven't seen Cedeno take literally, man. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's like,
Is Daniel a high volume guy? Or is he a
uh,
counter boxer?
hmm, if I'm Cedeno's team,
You're going to counter box him.
I'm gonna say put
You're
him
going
on
to
the
walk
back
him
foot
down.
because he can't stand. Cause I'm saying Tucker likes to stand. We like stand there and take pictures. That's a moment. You can't do that with Cedeno because he got that 8-inch reach. He'll just, if he stay right there, he'll pick him off. He has to come on the inside, or he has to fight, or he has to maneuver him way in. All involve him taking some punishment, and that's me. To me, Tucker is a fighter. I just like this man. I don't care if you turn pro at 60. Can you look at it? It's a fighter, Wilfred Benitez, right? He's the youngest guy. He one of the guys that won championship at 17.
17 years old. Well, yeah, I know. I'm very familiar
Yeah.
with Wilfred Benitez. Shout out.
That punishment he took early in his career made him, well, I believe he by the time he was in his mid-20s, he's
Yeah.
already, man.
It's a
Tucker had
different
took,
time, though. Those were
man,
15 rounders. Wilfred Benitez was fighting 15 rounders as a 17-year-old.
Tucker at 20, right, at 23, he is the oldest because it ain't too many 23 ace, 23-year-old A
He's an
sides
old ass. He's an old ass 23-year-old for sure. I get it.
who took in as much punishment because I thought he lost the Veron fight too. I'm saying that I've seen
Veron's a
him,
punch. Veron is good, dude.
and I think Cedeno is on Veron level. That's what I'm
I
saying.
don't think so. Okay, okay. I don't think. I
That's
think
what
Veron beats. I think Veron handles Cedeno pretty easily. I think Cedeno's predictable. I think he telegraphs his shots. I don't think he has a wide versatility of punches, and he relies a lot on what he does really well. And I think Jahai's going to be able to push him back. This is going to be a fun fight. This is
Yeah,
going to be
you
a fun
know,
fight.
I would say, but something we really didn't touch on. I want to see how you feel. I'm looking at under 5.5 in the Whitaker versus Rivera.
Yeah.
Do you think Rivera has the survival attributes? Can he run around? Can he?
And that's the question, brother. It's kind of like, for me, it's like how much have I bought the product that Eddie sold to me with Ben Whitaker? I'm not sold. Right now, I don't have any. I think I have Whitaker on the money line on a sneaky half unit parlay with Cedeno or with Jahai, and I might have had Peril on it. It pays like plus 105. But I haven't invested too much in it because Whitaker, for me, I don't like his tape. I don't like him hitting the pads. He's very flawed. And I think that I think he could be food. Is Popeye the guy to do it? I don't know. I don't know much. I haven't watched a lot of Ramirez tape.
Put like this.
He's in shape, man. Ramirez is in shape. I watched him today at the weigh or at the media week. I was like, damn, he looks like he's ready.
I believe what's name could beat Whitaker. It's gonna probably. I think Edmondson could beat Whitaker. I don't think Whitaker is world level, but right now,
You
I've
think
heard him,
Edmondson beats Whitaker? Louis Edmondson.
man.
He's
Like
so slow. Edmondson's real slow, mate.
Edmondson has that style, man. That just
Awkward.
like
It's like
it's
a negative. It's like a negative, awkward style. Yeah.
when you
He's
see it
frustrated.
when you see it on tape, you like, man, it's nothing. But I think when you get in there and you
Yeah.
have to hit him, and man, he's very elusive. Like I said, I mean, that's one
Yeah. He was.
thing.
I thought
Sneaky elusive.
I didn't think Lyndon Arthur was going to struggle that much with him. He's in the visible frustration on Arthur's face of not catching him, and Edmondson's conditioning impressed me. You know what I'm saying? Like we could have a style, but like, can that style hold up when you have an inefficient style like that? Like that's an inefficient style. Josh Kelly's style is super inefficient in terms of energy expenditure. Jaron Ennis has an inefficient style for
Mhm.
energy expenditure. So I was impressed with Edmondson being able to carry that style. What was that? A 10 rounder?
Yeah.
So you think maybe you think Edmondson maybe Edmondson would give Ben Whitaker. I'm not a Ben Whitaker guy. I've not been sold on it. I'm not one of these guys ordaining him as the great one.
He's
So I don't
28
really.
already. He's 28. That's why my biggest. He's always 28, and he's
Yeah,
still in the prospect. I'm saying
yeah.
I personally believe he got with Hearn so he can put him in a protection racket. Come saying like
Get some money, do some commercials,
get
get
some
some role
highlights.
because Eddie gets a percentage of all of his marketable deals. If he gets a watch deal, Eddie's getting a piece of that. So that's part of the game nobody talks about as well. It's like I'm going to sign a fighter to my promotional company, but he's part of my promotional company. So whatever else he does, modeling, etc. That's why you see boxers who are like this dude's like a model. It's why like it's something nobody really talks about, but it's part of the game.
Whitaker has a million Instagram followers. Like the
Yeah,
dude
he's
is a
popular. He's
superstar,
gone
and
viral.
he's a
Yeah,
superstar in England. I just think this fight is they in New York. Let's get an undefeated Puerto Rican, which is Rivera. He gonna have the crowd riled up. He gonna probably come out there Puerto Rican flag. They gonna be playing the Bad Bunny or something. That's what I think. He just coming in and get starched. You feel me? Starched.
yeah. Ela Ghost, man. Ela Ghost, aren't you? You used to be a JSB insider. Maybe you still are. I don't see that check mark. So Ela Ghost says, Tucker for me. This is going to be, there's a lot of these 50-50 fights this weekend, man. I don't have a lot of action yet, like I said, but the Tucker, you guys got me questioning Tucker Cedeno. Uh, Julius, the boys are such savages in our group. Did you see them? When Connor Quinn versus Jake Dodd, and I looked at their resumes, I was like, I'm not betting on that fight, boys. Is that even
Connor, Connor
no?
Quinn. Okay, yeah, so say I try to get to the point where my goal is
Yep.
to be more global, and I'm trying to get privy to more boxing
Yeah,
scenes.
yeah. You're reaching out. You're expanding.
The boxing scene in Northern Ireland is like it's like they have one of the greatest fan bases. Like they just like they are begging like for a decent fighter. They'll turn a decent fighter into a champion. Crocker, they try to turn Conley into one. So I say those fights.
Conley, man, Conley was good, man. Don't sleep on. Wasn't it who was the Mexican who came and kind of derailed the Mike Conlon? Uh, Bronco Lara. Wasn't it Bronco Lara who came from Mexico? It was like a plus 500 and beat Mick Conlon the first time, or am I tripping? It happened. Maybe that
Yeah.
was
No, yeah, no, oh no, you referring to Luis Alberto Lopez.
Luis Alberto Lopez, who could
Starched them,
punch.
yeah. Knocked
Yeah, who
them
could
out,
punch.
yeah.
Who could punch. So this fight, though, when you look at the boys were saying Connor Quinn and Jake Dodd, neither guy's ever fought a guy with a winning record, and with so many competitive fights on our radar, boys, I'm not going to bet that fight. So JoJo just joined. He's a JSP insider. Cedeno. They're like, why don't you like Brandon Lee? I don't think I think Brandon Lee has been spoon fed his entire career. I don't think Brandon Lee likes a dog fight. I've followed Kane Sandoval. Granted, all things known, I took J Rod at plus 450 to beat Kane Sandoval in his last fight. Kane reaches out to me on Instagram. I made this known in our Discord. And I told him straight up, I was like, bro, you're 22 years old and you don't have a six pack. I said, I'm 44 years old and I have a six pack. I was like, this is a lifestyle issue. If you want to make a go of being a professional boxer, you have almost 20 pro fights. Get in shape, take it serious. And all fight week, I've been watching him. Kane Sandoval is ripped. I think that Mexican style, yes, he's flawed. Will he be a world champion? Probably not. I think his volume, his pressure, his pace will drown Brandon Lee. I don't think Brandon Lee's that guy. So and Kane Sandoval's at plus money. So I'm a dog hunter. Just to let it be known. So for all the haters out there, I can't believe you picked them. Bitch, it was plus money. I'm a dog hunter. So I don't think Brandon Lee, what's his best win? He got him getting beat up against who's the Mexican he got beat up against. And he doesn't like getting hit.
Both Lee and Sandoval have inflated records, right?
Of course. Of course.
I would say my concern with Sandoval is that he he just get hits too much. Like I
Pedro
felt
Campa. Pedro Campa beat up Brandon Lee and they gave him the dub. Sandoval
I,
does get hit too much.
Wade and I felt like if you go a fight that I was surprised about with Sandoval, the first fight I watched of him when he fought Javier Molina, and
Mm.
Molina had him puzzled, and I was like, man, I was like. He did win that fight, but he was never able. He was not able. He's a Kane Sandoval is a front foot fighter. If he's not on the
Yeah.
front foot, he's losing. And I feel like Lee does have a little more wrinkles to his game. Just
Uh-huh.
a slight bit more. That's a fight I can see being a draw.
Yeah,
But I
it's
just
going it's going it's a 10 rounder. It's a 10 rounder. I think that
distance.
Brantley's going to have to be on his bike. And I question I don't want to bet on when I'm thinking about where I'm putting my money. It's hard for me to put my money on a guy that I doubt their determination. I doubt their resilience. I doubt their willingness to go through the fire. You know, which sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. I like what I've seen in Kane since he lost to J Rod, but that's why. And then so Jake says we should do it. What's your Jake says we should do a live during the fights. My issue with streaming during fights is I like watching fights kind of like it's almost in reverence. I don't go in public to watch fights. I'll never watch a big fight at a bar. I like watching it in my own, you know, maybe we should. Do you what's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, cause like I feel like it's very few people. You got me want to start a channel, man. I might
You
start one.
should. Julius, bro, start a channel and I'll help you grow it. 100%.
Um,
Like
we a small circle, man. It's
yeah,
not that many
there's not
English
many of us.
speaking. I do notice that a lot of Spanish channels boxing. It's more Spanish boxing channels than all English channels. In the English speaking world, man, it's very few people who
Not a
know what
lot.
they're talking about. Very
Yeah.
few. Man, that's why I do agree. That's why I was gravitating to your channel. I said, man, you know what we talking about. Who understand the business side. Cause
Yep.
yeah, live when we man, like yeah, man, like I know why people want to watch the fight with you so they can live bet. You know, you can't. You where you at? You can't. You gotta call
I can't
somebody.
lie, bet. I
But
gotta
where
call
we at?
someone.
But where we at? You know what I'm saying? We you
Yeah.
know yeah, click of a button. So yeah,
Maybe I'll think about it then, Jake. Maybe it's something to think about. We got 92 people in here. We're 90 minutes in, man. Guys, like the video for us. We got to get Julius. He's one of our sharps to start a channel. Dude, imagine this. We got because there's me, there's 3D. I'm bringing Tommy on the channel tomorrow. Paulie Malignaggi, Tommy Randone. Maybe one or two others. If TJ started one, if you started one, that's how we would grow. You know, the way you would grow and get the word across about what's really going on in the boxing game is you want seeds to be planted. You know what I'm saying? Because there's not a lot of us out there, bro. I'll
I
help
probably
you.
I
Start
probably
your
and
channel, bro. Start your channel.
my goal when I start the channel is my biggest goal. I see. I want to connect the South African boxing fan base, the UK fan base, the Australian, Canadian, America, all the English speaking. I want to have a group. You know what I'm saying? All the English speaking boxing fans. You know, connect them. But yeah, man, that's
Yeah,
something I'm looking into, man. You really inspired me, man. This year that I've been following you, like,
let's
man,
go.
I like what you're doing, man.
Let's go.
Bye, though, man.
You're doing it too. Are you out of here?
Yeah, man.
All
Peace,
right,
man.
stay up. All right, so Boss Christos, you're saying Vernon Brown versus Damoni Cato. Guys, if you're still on, I'm gonna stay on. We're 90 minutes in. There's 90 of you in here. I'll pull up the odds now. So this is I don't know if I'm getting Vernon Brown versus Cato. Ask and thou shalt receive. You guys are savages. Guys, I can't be betting on every single fight. I have to do tape. These fights are so close. Talk to me tomorrow, Christos. I'll make a note of it. I haven't put a lot of energy in the Zuffa card yet because Australia was last night. So, and then all day today, I've been doing the Matchroom top rank card. So I uploaded the Zayas versus Boots video today, and I'm going to do Cedeno versus Jahai. You guys got me second guessing my Jahai pick. Johnny, for what it's worth, I switched back to Tucker, but guys, we are cooked. What are we doing? God, the thing about it is, if you go through my channel, you'll see that I've won money on Jahai Tucker recently by breaking his fights down and doing this, and I've won money on Cedeno. There's just something when I watch the tape, Cedeno is the prettier, shinier toy. You know, it's under the Christmas tree. It's glossy. It's the big one with the ribbon. You know, 12 out of 14 wins, knockouts, bodied up, built, fun style. I just think there's something at a certain level. A lot of that stuff could go away when you're getting tested against a guy who's been there before, who's been tested, and that's where I'm leaning on, man. There's something about Tucker's flawed record that I do like. There's something about an 18-year-old kid who's getting paired with a 27-year-old Puerto Rican power puncher and Nick Flaz that I like. You know what I'm saying? And I think that as a fighter, as you grow and you mature into your physical stature, he's still only 23, dude. His physical prime probably won't be until he's 28. You take those lessons with you. Cedeno at 26, I'm not sure he's learned those lessons yet. So that's what I'm leaning on. Johnny, you point out yourself, timing, Cedeno. There's a lot to like about Yuri. And the longer you're on my channel, the more you'll like. It's just because we have to pick a guy, right? I can't, we wouldn't have 97 people in here on a Thursday afternoon in Sydney. We're a small Australian channel, guys. I have 28,000 subs. Started this from scratch. If I did every video and I just picked a draw, nobody would watch. So I understand why I have to pick winners, and nobody's 100% right. Just because I took Jahai doesn't mean I don't like Cedeno. I understand the pick. You guys have me second guessing my pick. Who doesn't love a good power puncher? Who doesn't love a big southpaw who has good timing looking for the knockout? But then again, who doesn't love a meat grinder? A guy who's been through the war, who wants to drag you with him, who'll take your biggest shot, eat it, get through it, weather the storm, just to see if you could still be there when it's late. Like, these are the romantic narratives of a fight. This is why boxing is the greatest sport on earth. It's all over the tape. Power timing, Cedeno's corner. Tucker will take punishment. His distance timing, lack of power puts him in backstep. Backway transfer dropping bombs. I got so. What's up, Fight Fan, my guy? Barikwa. I'll say it right. Barikwa. Billy Cruz, Barikwa. Barikwa. Barera. Barikwa. Sometimes the best bet is the one you don't make. We're out here teaching lessons, man. Yeah, Luis Alberto Lopez, Colin got Lee Wood. What was I thinking about? Venado was after that. We watched way too many fights. New York City. Respect my flag, you heard. New York. These cats having a crash out. Gypsy. Gypsy got. The boys are having a crash out. Gypsy, shout out, man. Appreciate you, bro. Brantley is trained by Robert Garcia. Now let's see. Yeah, he is. Let in the house. Look at all the old dude. Let used to be a JSB insider. I don't see that question mark anymore. Anyway, I got a big list of y'all cats dipping and running. It's all good, baby boy. I'm gonna sprinkle a little something on the draw. Let's go. Thank you, round one. I appreciate you. What about Arrow versus Tim? You know I got it. Best way. Are you in our group? You got some good takes. Arrow look. Do you think he's look good? I don't think EJ. All right, let me pull it up. What do you guys think of this? What do you guys think of this? Because I shared this in our Discord, and what do you make? I don't like Errol's feet. I don't like Errol's balance. So this is Mason versus Bell, Battle of Ohio. Paro, this is last night. Paro on points. Let's go. We up. Let's go. Big ass head. Champs. I still think Paro beats Garcia and Raleigh. You don't believe me? Okay, here we go. Guys, if you're on Instagram, follow me at Johnny Stavko. Say, hey, Jay, what's up? It's so-and-so from YouTube. I'll follow you back. The reason for that is I do a lot of these polls. You know, I use my story as like a 24/7 ticker. I'm a big Arrow fan. I've been a fan since the amateur days. You know, I loved when one of my favorite moments is when he went to Sheffield and stopped Kell Brook. There's something about Errol's. I'm going to play the video and I'll shut up here. But there's something about Errol's balance in his feet here that bothers me. It's tough to see because the video's dragging a bit. He doesn't look, to me, he doesn't look comfortable. His foundation to me looks off. The video's dragging a bit. If you want to see the real speed, it's on my story. I did a poll. Does he look good? Does he look bad? Does he look okay? There's something when a fighter, even though he's going at 50%, he's not, obviously he's not sprinting here. But when you're looking at the foundation of a fighter, his balance, his balance looks off to me. It's hard to pinpoint it, but when you box, when you coach it, you kind of know what I mean. I don't like this fight for him. So, bro, listen, youngin. This is what I tell all the boys. I will help you. I'm a coach first. I'm a teacher first. All this stuff is my passion. Anybody in the Discord, anybody part of our JSB community, it's why I bring people on my stream. I know what it's like to start a passion from scratch. I've never paid for ads. I've never bought followers. Where 28,000 subs to me is like the biggest compliment in the world. Youngin is known. I call Youngin Moonshot. That's his nickname. I call him Moonshot because in our JSB Discord, this fool always hits these long parlays. If anybody in our community wants to start a YouTube channel, do it. I will help you. I'll do what I can to promote it. I'll bring you on. I'll give you, I'll help you behind the scenes. I'll show you, what to do, what not to do. The marketing side of things. I'll help you out, man. Do it. I like Errol, but the layout. Yeah, man. Best. Are you going to put money on it? Let's see what the odds are paying. Guys. I mean, even if it's $100, bro. Even if it's $100, it's tough to put money on Errol. Based off of what Best Transfer's saying here. There's a saying in gambling. You're only as good as your last win. You're only as bad as your last loss. There's a saying in boxing. What have you done for me lately? All Errol has done is not fight in over 1,000 days. The last time we saw him was at 147. He got the piss beat out of him by Bud Crawford, a guy who had won titles at 135. His best win, he hasn't had a stoppage win in what, 2019? Who was the last guy Errol stopped? When did he fight Ugas? He's never fought at 154 before. I don't like it, man. To think that I would bet on Errol Spence Jr. is crazy. Like right now, $100 on EJ. And he's the favorite. This, for me, Johnny, who are you a bigger fan of? Errol or Tip? Of course, Errol. I was born and raised in America. I started boxing as a 7-year-old. I watched the amateurs. I knew about Errol as an amateur. Even though I'm an orthodox fighter, I've always liked southpaws. I like that marauding style, front foot style, jab heavy, boom, backhand, lean in on you, body puncher, boy, just breaking your will, breaking you down. Errol wouldn't just beat you; he would break your will. He would break your psyche to where the fight would end in going into the next fight. If you had fought him, you were never the same guy mentally. Physically, nobody could measure that. Mentally, losing to a guy like Errol Spence Jr. with his fight style when he was at his best, that was the biggest deterrent. Is like he was fighting guys who thought they were alphas, and he was teaching them in real time in front of the world under the bright lights that they weren't an alpha, that he was. It's a fucking very intimate thing when you think about it. This is how I look at boxing. So it's why I've always been a big Errol fan. I did, however, bet on Terrence to beat him. And this fight against Tim, I don't like it. I don't like the matchup. I would not. And Tim is the underdog? That's freaking insane. That is freaking insane to me. That Tim's the underdog. Most common Zuffa picks. None. Hey Jay, what's your most confident Zuffa pick? Hell nah, not dude. The matchmaking's insane. I think because we've been winning so much over the 12 months. Yes, we're like here over the last 4 weeks, 5 weeks. June was freaking brutal, but everything else has been good. I think the matchmakers maybe they've caught on to us. But Zuffa, I don't have a good read on Zuffa. Play the underdogs. Inspire us all. Boy, you guys inspire me, man. Look what we're building together. This is teamwork, bro. Front foot optics is okay. Best way transfer. We kind of agree on something. And let me show you something, bro. When have we ever seen? When have we ever seen Kane Sandoval look like this? I shared this in our Discord, and this is after we spoke when J Rod beat him. When have we ever seen six-pack Kane? That's six-pack Kane Sandoval. That's new. That's Kane who's locked in, prepared. He finally took his strength and conditioning serious. He finally took his nutrition serious. And you're not getting abs like that if you're drinking the piss and eating sugary bullshit foods. I expect Kane to take the lessons that J-Rod taught him and to level up. I've always questioned Brandon Lee's mental capacity in the ring. You give me Kane Sandoval plus money, come on, man. I'm not going to take Brandon Lee as the favorite. That's not a good bet. Kane Sandoval is the dog. And remember, guys, he was the plus 400 favorite against Julian Rodriguez. What's up? What's up, Zab? Jala cleared better, in my opinion. Shit. The palms are getting sweaty. So Daniel is a freak of nature. Zach, my God, we up, man. It's really, as Zach knows and the boys know, it's a mantra. It's a mantra, man, because life is short and life is fleeting. We up is a mantra I've always used to signify A, that we're not in this alone, and B, even if you're down, to have the thought that you're down, you're still up because you're here, because you have the opportunity in front of you to do whatever you want, to level up. We up is a mantra, and people online don't like it, dude. People hate on us. What mean we up? You took Liam Talavera as a 3 to... Bro, you missed the whole point, mate. If you're trolling me because I missed a pick, you're missing the whole point. You're saying it wrong, bro. It's not Boricua. Boricua. Barera. Boricua. Borera. Cedeno. What's up, Paco? A lot of people got Cedeno. He's a sexy pick right now. Going half unit line. Most fights are 50-50, right? High interest. We appreciate you. Newton, what's up, my guy? Bud turned the big fish into... Ironic how in the movie Finding Nemo they found him in Australia. Smith. No shit. I've never seen Finding Nemo. They found him in Australia. Spence about to fight in Australia. Youngin, all Youngin needs. This is my guy Moonshot, who we're gonna get him to start a channel when he's ready. King of the Moonshot parlay. You just need Australia to win, right? Against Paraguay. No UFC. They're coming. I got boys. It's only Thursday. It's hard for me to juggle careers and then get a wrench thrown into our work with a Wednesday night fight. So the Wednesday night fight last night, I can't look past it. So I was like, all right, let me get locked in. We got, I'll do there's a UFC parlay coming. I got to do a Zuffa parlay. We're up. We'll get it. Is my internet slow? Appreciate you. Oh, Wiley's my guy. I didn't know you were Wiley in the Discord. You guys have different names, man. I got Tucker, Chahai, Christos. So you got, see, Chris. I got Tucker. I think I might take De Los Santos. I don't like his balance either. I think I saw that was off too, bro. What's up, De Niro? I think great picture. Is that young Mike or is that his nephew? I think if Arrow's even close to 90, he beats Tim. Tim is banking on Arrow being damaged goods. We're gonna know a lot coming up, boys. I'm about to get 10K on Zayas. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. A lot of people, bro. If you got the bankroll to go 10K, in 10K ain't no thing but a chicken wing. I mean, you're getting 50K back. Bookie's price, Bookie's probably priced in Tim's glass. I mean, does Tim have a glass shin? We've never seen him out cold, you know? When I think of a glass chin, I think of like a Chuck Liddell in the UFC, a guy who used to have a chin, and then when he fought Rashad Evans, he gets touched, and then the lights go out. And then every fight after, he gets touched, and the lights go. We've never seen Tim's lights go out. He's been stopped. I wouldn't say he has a glass chin. Low fight IQ? Yeah. Does Tim have a low fight IQ or a glass chin? Tim has a low fight IQ. Band of Boys, you know I'm a Fundora guy. I've been on the Fundora train since jump. I think he will be. I don't think people beat Fundora at 54. Shout out from the Philippines. Shout out. Fundora will get I don't Zab. No, I'm a big fan of let Jaron get through Xander first and then we can talk about it. It's tough for me to look ahead. Um I've won a lot of money on Seb. Played the stoppage. We only got him at plus 240 to stop Keith. That came through. So look, I'm only loyal to betting patterns, right? Uh, Unfortunately, in this game, when you've done it as long as I am, you get to know fighters. Sometimes that comes back to burn you because you bet with your heart. But I always say, bet with your wallet, not with your heart. It burned me last night. You know, I bet with my heart last night. That's why I got offended. You guys were making fun of my Liam Talavov pick. I'm friends with Liam, man. I know him. I know his family. I wanted him to win for his family, you know. But I told you guys that. It's all good. You can't gamble like that you got to gamble with your wallet. The minute you're using emotions, you're going to get burned. That's the secret to betting consistently and being up at the end of the year is removing emotions from it. So what I like to do is bet on patterns. Have I won money on this guy before? Yeah, and this is why I like the last with Cedeno. If you look at Cedeno's last fight against Satundi, I did a live stream with Julius, the dude who was just on. We broke that fight down, and Cedeno was $1.71, but we got him at plus 110 on points. We won a lot of money on him. So I've won money on Cedeno in the past. Same thing with Jahai Tucker on points against Truck. I think I got him at plus 280. So when I take those bets and I see who I've won on, and then I see the stylistic matchup, who's the A side, where's the fight at, that's kind of one of the recipes that I put into how I make my judgment on where I'm putting my money. It burned me last night taking my boy. I can never answer this truthfully though. Johnny, if you didn't know Talava, would you have taken him to beat McKean? I don't know. I can't answer that because I know Liam. After convo in the Discord about people being punch drunk, Errol. Yeah. Oh, Wiley. Yeah, we were talking about Liam Wilson. Did you guys watch the Australian fights last night? Mate, if you guys have a little bit of a pulse, if you have a little bit of a heart, and I hope that everybody here does, you know, we're not building a community filled with savages. We're building a community with people who, hopefully you have people who care about you. If there's even one person who cares about you that you care about, watching Liam Wilson talk last night, it left you feeling weird, man. But Wiley, he's been degrading for the last few years, man. The kid is notorious for sparring. It's known his nickname is the Damage. It's known that he beats the brakes off of his sparring partners. And in fights, when we've seen him win, it's ultra aggressive. And when we've seen him lose, Oscar Valdez, Navarrete, we've seen him get stopped. So to see a kid who's in his early 30s slurring like that on international TV, and then because our sport, it's such a taboo to speak about, nobody mentioned it except our Discord. It's tough to watch, man. I think Devin Fundora. You think Devin beats Boots? Devin's 5'8". Devin's a small 140. Devin was a big 135er. Devin's kind of an average size welterweight. Devin would no. Devin would get bullied against Boots. Fedora though, I like Fedora. You know that, bro. That's barely a 6-pack, man. Come on, Ryan. Did you not remember what he looked like before? Ryan, Ryan, look at what Kane look. I'm gonna. You know what? I don't know if you're in our Discord. I don't think you are. But look what Kane looked like before the J-Rod fight. Come on, dude. When have we ever seen Kane Sandoval with abs? You got to give him some credit, even if you're taking Brandon Lee. You got to say that's. Come on, dude. Probably Ozempic. No, the reason why here I'm gonna teach you game. Any competitive athlete, any functional athlete, anybody who even, like myself, who still trains, who runs 100 kilometers a month. I've been doing it for 5 years. Who spars. Any human who uses their body functionally, repetitively, would never do Ozempic, because the biggest negative consequence to our body that drug does, I forget the active ingredient in Ozempic. Ozempic is the marketing name, maybe Wegovy, is that it causes bone density deterioration. So when you're seeing these people lose all this massive weight, yes, they're losing body fat, but they're losing bone density. And the older we get, bone density, how thick our bones is, it's one of the number one factors which help us fight off viruses, which help us prolong long life and overcome sicknesses. So any pro athlete, any human who's into their physical fitness would never take Ozempic because they would know the side effects. Arrow was taking layoffs, jumping right back in the fire every time. And like you said, if we get the same Arrow, not gun shy, I believe he gives you a hard time. I would love to see Arrow win. That would make my year if I got to see Arrow. I'm going to the fights. I live like 10 kilometers from the stadium. That would be like, just even the fact, I'm already grateful that I'm going to get to see Arrow fight live. I'm super grateful for that. That'll go up on my list of, like, I was fourth row in Melbourne for UFC 293 in 2015 for Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm, when Ronda Rousey was invincible and Holly Holm head kicked her. I was fourth row for that fight. I was borderline ringside when Kelly Pavlik knocked out Jermaine Taylor at the boardwalk in Ocean City, Atlantic City, when he became the world champion. I was at Tim Tszyu, Tony Harrison, when he became a world champion and knocked out Harrison in the 9th. To see Errol Spence fight, that'll be awesome for me. I watched Ray Mancini fight, but I was a kid. I really don't remember. I was like 7. I think I was 6 when Boom Boom Mancini fought. I think it was when Boom Boom lost to the kid from Buffalo with the braids. They fought twice. 2 great fights. Livingston Bramble. I'm an old head. I'm an old head. When he fought Livingston Bramble. I thought Ray won the fight. I had to rewatch it when I was in my 20s, but he lost it. What do you think about New York judges? I think they favor the A side, man. New York ain't the city of dreams and everything in New York. Arrow at 154 is a pro. Arrow layoff for 3 years. This is a conversation to be had. I've heard this. I don't think it's that flawed. I think there's something to that. Kind of like Jaron. Jaron boiled himself down forever at 47. And Errol did the same thing at 47. You fight your whole career at 47. I was shocked. Somebody told me in the chat that Errol walks around, like going into the Bud fight, he was walking around at like upper 180s. Is that what you guys heard? That Errol like walking around like I weigh 185. I'm 5'11", 185. I'm 44. Errol's listed, I think, at 5'9". So he's like a little bit shorter than me. If he's walking around what I'm walking around at, to think that I would ever make 147 and do it consistently through my 20s and 30s as a career is absolutely insane. I haven't weighed and I'm in shape. Like I said, I don't have a lot. I'm under 10% body fat. I don't have a lot of fat at all. And I'm in my 40s. I always think about that. Like, how the hell would I make 47? That's freaking insane. I look at the 154s to think that Xander makes 54 isn't. I haven't weighed 154 since I was 15. So, and I think it's a good comparison because I've stayed fit, I've stayed healthy my whole life. So these guys are, how much are you losing when you're cutting that weight? How much are you giving away? We'll never know. Like, what if Errol's career happened at 54 instead of 47? There is a big part of me that I want to see Errol beat Tim. Will he do it? I don't think he will, though. It's hard for me to get past the logic of fighting because, maybe because I'm still within the sport and I train and I spar and I punch and I get hit. I do road work. I do all of it. I live like a samurai. The consequences are real. I've never been a pro boxer like Errol. I've never the car crashes, the alcoholism, how he treated his body, the fight against Bud. Obviously, he's 35 now. I think 36. I want to see him win. I'd love for him to see him win. That'd be crazy. What a story! Errol come to Australia, get a dub. He would instantly put himself in another big fight. But who would he fight? Murtazayev? Josh Kelly? Seb? I would not want to see him versus Seb. Manny Pacquiao? Is that the move? I don't know if he's going to be able to get past Tim, guys. Tim going to be at plus 200. Let's go Australia. Thriller Mike. Thriller Mike is a beast. Thriller Mike is goated Mike, by the way. Bet Portugal to win the win. You got him. I already put my bet in, bro. I took Argentina at plus 14 to 1 and then Brazil at 12 to 1, but I pulled him out of a hat. I don't think Tim has a glass chin. Yeah, thoughts on yesterday's robbery. Who got robbed? Boots. You think Boots will be Boots? You think a full Fandora? Maybe. People have already beat Fandora at 54. Yeah, but Mendoza. I get it. But this is a different like he's still in his mid-20s, he's young. You put the belt around somebody's waist, the kid built, they have a compound. This kid lives in a boxing compound. The fighting Fondoras is a real thing. This dude's always in shape, disciplined. Every time we see him, he levels up. Beat the dog breaks off of Thurman. He's going to be a tough out for anybody at 54. Tim got dropped constantly. Fandora will be able to make Boots pay in positions. Low fight IQ. That's what it is, in my opinion. You've lost so much on Tim. So I lost money on Tim. I flip-flopped the first Seb fight. The second Seb fight, because I was doing live streams then. I had Seb early in the week. It's the only time I've ever flip-flopped, and I flip-flopped. I'm sticking with Jahai. So the boys in here who are on Jahai, I'm staying true. My boots are dug in. I'm in it to win it, boys. I'm not going to flip-flop on anybody. Just getting in, but already put money on Xander. Major Key Boxing. Plus 300, plus 350 is an amazing bet, by the way, on the money line. How often do we see an undefeated world champion who's fighting a guy who's moving up, and they're almost a 4-1 dog? Serena Williams uses Ozempic. Does she still compete? If that's true, wait till you see her, find her in 10 years or 15 years and see if she has arthritis in her ankles, knees, or hips. We will know all we need to know about Errol and Tim fighting the first round. I think first round. I think as soon as it starts, we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll be able to see how Errol's sliding in and out, how his timing is, how he's reacting to things. A lot of our brain damage, and when things are starting to decay, the older we get, it's all reflexes, like how you're reacting, how you're able to move, that sort of thing. So, and that's what I don't like in Errol. When those reflexes leave, when you were able to come here or predict, the predictability is gone, the intuitiveness about being able to be in a position to where your safe is gone, and then when you're able to slip here, you're getting hit with it now. You're getting hit with it now, and that all that accumulative stuff adds up, and that's what I don't like about Errol. What about peptides? Peptides are all the rage now. Go to your doctor if you're gonna do them. I don't fuck with them. De Los Santos money line. Let's go, Newton. Let's go, Newton. Major Creed's horrible for people with diabetics. Still best. Side effect. It was made for diabetics. I got you, brother. Edwin Arayo. Ask me tomorrow. Pavlik was my prediction for the fight versus Taylor. Yeah, I grew up with Kelly. Kelly and I have been friends since we were 7 years old. Livingston is from US. Livingston Bramble from the USVA. Why did I think he was from Buffalo? Maybe as does Canelo, no difference. Who's the A-side, Xander or Boots? Well, Xander's the champion. Didn't Matchroom get the purse bid? I think Matchroom, or no, Top Rank got the purse bid by like 15 grand. Or am I convoluting the Liam Paro versus Lewis Crocker fight? No Limit and Matchroom, Top Rank. Xander's the A-side. See, this is what I was talking about. It's not that Xander fundamentally superior. It's that Boots gets away with a lot of things because he's so unorthodox, because he's so twitchy, because he's so fast. He has great reflexes and skills. He's able to get away with things that you would never teach. He has bad habits. That's my biggest beef with Boots. Will Xander Zayas be able to make Boots pay for these so-called bad habits? I think that's the trick. Errol versus Josh is the only one I could think of. He won't lose. Maybe. Same reason you probably brought up Taylor versus Pavlik. Hergovich. Insane. Johnny, it's great to see you're still on. You didn't answer me earlier. Were you so? Does it bother me, Charles Johnson? No. I think Charles Johnson's one of these guys, when you think about an athlete psychologically, there's certain guys that are able to travel. There's certain guys who don't want the bright lights. There's certain guys who perform better when they're the B-side, when they're the underdog, when they could remove all the expectations of having their family in the crowd or the stresses of having to sort of perform a certain way. This is Charles Johnson. He's done it his whole career. It's a great question, though. I think Energy Johnson is the pick. I'm boots down with that one. The best and only thing I will ever take is creatine. I take creatine. Yeah, I take creatine every day. It's creatine is what you would call homogeneous with our body because our body naturally creates it. So when you take it as a supplement, you should look young. And if you're interested, there's a study that the ISSN did. Shout out to Dr. Jose Antonio. I used to do these interviews, and my first podcast was all about scientists and physicists and millionaires. It was called Ungoogleable. And I was interviewing Dr. Jose Antonio. He's a professor down at Nova Southeastern College in South Florida, and he runs a company called the International Society of Sports Nutrition. And they did a longitudinal study, a 10-year longitudinal study on the effects of microdosing creatine and brain and cognition. So and Chris Algieri was part of this study. So I'm friends with Chris, and this is how I got to know Dr. Jose. So you can either microdose creatine for the benefits of cognition and brain repair, and this is like 1 gram, 1.5 grams a day, or you could kind of dose it 3 to 5 grams for the benefits of strength and muscle. But on that note, boys, I got to run. Energy knocked out Loner in China. Yeah, I took him on that bet too. Guys, 2 hours and 8 minutes, 90 of you in here. I appreciate you. Best community in the world, man. We got a lot of fights coming up. We got a lot to talk about. Appreciate you.